But now what I would really like for us to do is to start going over the 8 steps to feminine harmony. As I started this journey 12 years ago or so, I had to think in the last months how to bring those steps together, what it really takes to live in this feminine harmony, in the feminine energy, and at the same time, the femininity comes from Creator himself. If we haven't been protected by our parents, we lost that purity and that femininity. If we haven't been protected by our husbands and men, we will continue violating ourselves, and they've been violating us, and we're allowing them to violate us when we've been going to work and trying to protect ourselves. And now to bring that femininity and this purity, we can only really do it through daily spiritual practices. And that's why I would like for us, as I'm going to be reading, generating, I would like for you to read it with me. I texted you to the group, and ask me questions as we're going to go through it. And I would like for you to put meaning behind each word. So the step number 1, seek the Creator. We seek the Creator through daily prayer, meditation, or mantra affirmation. In your understanding, by the way, Creator, God, Allah, or Buddha, it doesn't matter. In your understanding, to heal, grow, learn, and love ourselves in a nurturing way. Because sometimes loving ourselves could be in a very self-centered way. And that's not what I'm referring. Meaning you put yourself first and you take care of yourself in a nurturing way through Creator. We admit that we are powerless to achieve healing and self-love on our own. Only by fostering relationship with Creator can we begin to heal our emotional, physical, and spiritual bodies. Now I would like for us ladies to interact and for you to share what are you actually hearing, because you will be hearing this first step in your own understanding where you currently are. And maybe it's not really that spiritual and feminine. Maybe it's still kind of logical and analytical, and maybe has a lot of this masculine understanding. So that's why your participation right now is going to be really, really important. What are you hearing in this first step?
Creator is, the one that, let's say, holds the power. And so having that humility, I guess maybe is the right word, to acknowledge that, through the Creator and through connection with Him, through the meditation or prayer, we'll be able to lay the foundation for, the feminine harmony. So I think without Creator, none of the other steps are going to be possible. So that's why I think it's important to make sure we have the relationship with the Creator first and foremost before we grow and go into anything else.
Beautiful, Celine. Thank you for sharing. Really good. Where else? What are you hearing?
What I'm hearing from this first step is to have time to seek Creator and have this time. This is what I'm right now going through. So because in general we can feel Creator all day long, but I'm hearing that we need to spend time by praying, meditating, doing something special to connect. This is I think important.
Really, really great. What I'm hearing you hearing, Anya, is a discipline. Seeking the time for Him, the discipline. Discipline is so critical, because otherwise whatever we put our energy, that's what's gonna grow. If you decide to learn how to play piano, you're gonna practice for an hour or 2 a day. Eventually, you're gonna become pianist. Pretty good at it, if you do it every day consistently. If you're gonna put energy on becoming an engineer, even if it's not something that you like, but you're studying it and you're putting energy, you're gonna become an engineer. If you're learning the craft of how to create a happy and harmonious relationship with men, because you don't know, you have to recognize first that you don't know, and you're putting the effort, you will create harmonious relationship with a man. If you're putting the time to get to know Creator through discipline and doing it daily, that's what you will become, closer to Him. Otherwise, it's an illusion that we can really become the feminine and have a great relationship to ourselves or our man, because without him, he's the biggest ingredient. It's not going to happen. So who else wants to share about this first step? Because there's something you're missing, ladies. We're seeking the Creator daily, and some of you already shared that. But the second part is we admit that we are powerless. Ladies, until you will admit that you are powerless, you're still gonna try to do everything on your own, whether it's dating and finding the man, whether it's providing for you and paying for the bills, whether it's being in a relationship with your kids or parents that are maybe not working or not working as well as you like to. It doesn't matter. And for us, as women in a modern society, we're very proud, ladies. And it doesn't matter in which spiritual teachings or which religious beliefs. I will have to agree that pride is one of our biggest weaknesses, and in some religious beliefs it says it's a biggest sin. And that's why we gotta really admit that we are powerless. And really the first step will take you probably a month, and to some people maybe even a year, to go through the first step. Because some of you will have such a high pride, it's like you will not even know what it means to even acknowledge that you are powerless. But once you admit that, and that's why when we go through difficult periods in life, which Asita shared with us a few days ago, I am in this basically space, feeling alone. That's what it means, being powerless, admitting that, but not admitting only to us in the feminine circle, but really to Creator. And that is what it means, humility, like first, like kneeling in front of Him, or being in this Turkish position, closing our eyes and connecting to Him. Really, you are admitting that you're powerless. Whatever that you want, without Him, you're not gonna get it. So what is there for you as I'm sharing this very, very important step? Because through Him, we are healing, we're seeking self-love, and getting to the essence of us. We are born feminine. We are born gentle and soft. But this childhood, our parents, the society shaped us to be tough. And now we're surviving. And that's not normal, by the way. We want to get back to our essence of being this pure, gentle, beautiful flowers that we are as women. Let's go then to the step number 2. Surrender and commitment. We commit to surrendering ourselves and our lives to the Creator as we understand Him, humbly asking for healing and the removal of masculine layers that no longer serve us. This allows us to rise in vibration and embody our true, soft, and feminine selves, feeling safe in the Creator's protection and that of our men. What are you hearing in the step number 2, ladies?
I would probably go a little bit after you just say about this, that we are powerless and we are humble, that we admit it to ourselves and to God, and also admit that we are no longer feminine, we are masculine, and ask for this help and removal of those layers. Yeah.
Beautiful. Anya, you got it. Because usually when something is not working in our life, we are angry. We're angry either with significant other, or our parents, or someone. And when we are praying or meditating, we almost bring that anger to Creator Himself, and we're not asking humbly. We're almost kind of demanding, or we're asking, but we're really not connecting to Him. And here, the key here is humbly. We're admitting that we're in a masculine energy, but we're also humbly asking Him for healing. And ladies, please know, if you're gonna learn how to ask humbly Creator, and you're gonna start getting the results, later you will learn how to ask humbly your man later, and they will follow through. Because whenever we are asking men in the masculine energy, we're not asking humbly, we're demanding, we're being very righteous. And with that righteousness and that anger and pride, they will resist. They will not follow through. So what is there for you, ladies, about this humbly and asking to remove our masculine energy and help us to heal so we can rise in our vibration and begin to be again soft and feminine? Who wants to share?
If the masculine in our life, it can be our dad or can be whatever, even if he's not playing his role. So I feel like this is my personal is my challenge. Like, I'm doing that, but you're not doing your role, so that's why I'm doing that. But I know this is not the mentality to have, but I really struggle with the fact that how can I surrender and feel protected if there is not a protector?
I get it, Asita. You see, we are so logical and analytical, and we're always negotiating with people and Creator himself, almost kind of like that. Well, you give me the protection, or you give me the man who'll pay my bills and take care of me, and then I will surrender to you. It's like most of the time people are saying, well, I don't see God, I don't see Creator, until I'm gonna see him, I'm not gonna trust him. And this is kind of the same mentality. And Creator wants you to trust him, and he wants you to surrender to him, even though you don't see him, even though you don't see his protection. Even, believe it or not, he's protecting you even now, every day. We take for granted for our beauty, for our health. We take for granted that we have food, that we have family. We have so much. But we are turning to see the lack, what we are lacking. And as long as we're seeking what we're lacking, you're concentrating on that, the more lack will follow. So we have a choice to see the abundance or to see scarcity and lack. And if we're concentrating on scarcity and lack, it will follow. And that's what I'm talking about. We almost are born with certain defects in our mind. Our mind and our soul is constantly battling. And our mind is dictating, not enough, not good enough, not enough, not good enough. And as long as there's not good enough and not enough, more of that will show up. Are you hearing it, Asita? Yeah. And the more you're gonna put in the work, ladies, every day, little by little, the results will follow. But you ladies want results. You give me the results and then I will follow through. But it doesn't happen like that. It's like you negotiating with Creator.
I feel like when you're talking about masculine layers, I feel sometimes like when I'm by myself and calm, I feel very feminine. And then as I go about my day, there's so many decisions and I get like decision fatigue very easily. And that's where it's like those strong layers come out because I just feel like I have to get through my day. And there's just so many, just decisions. And I guess sometimes I wonder how to be feminine and make all those decisions that I have to make all the time, like as a mom and a wife and all that.
Selena, this is such a great question, and I don't know, it's not even a question, it's your share, but I would like for you ladies to know the biggest reason of our high stress in life, it's where you haven't made a decision. So for example, you know in your gut that this is not your duty and your responsibility, for example, making money and providing, but you're still doing it. Not only that it's a lack of boundaries for you, but it's also gonna keep you stressed and will keep you feeling, where do I make a decision? The more you're procrastinating to make a decision to stop doing it, the more you're gonna feel exhausted, the more you're gonna feel stressed. And you're not sharing the example of the decisions that you are trying to make, but I'm sharing like this big decision. But throughout the day, we have also the many little other decisions to make. And the more you're procrastinating to make a decision to where is your duty and responsibility as a woman and what is not, that's how you keep violating yourself. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a really good one. And we as a women, for example, the moment you made goals for yourself, consider this as a masculine energy. Feminine woman might have only one goal, really, to get closer to Creator and continue to nurture her kids and her relationship. All the monetarily things or providing and protecting, these are all masculine. Right now in the feminine circle, I am starting to feel that I'm shifting to masculine energy because to run the feminine circle is pricey. Because I start to feel that I am shifting to a masculine energy. And it's not a woman's responsibility. Because right now it feels like it's all on me. But it's really feminine circle, it's for you ladies. It's not for me. It's yours. Do you get it? And so we as a women have to detach from that material things like, okay, how do I pay bills? Or how do I pay groceries? Or how do I pay for a mortgage? The more you're gonna detach to feminine, the more your man gonna step in to do his masculine role. But you cannot continue to try to control him to pay for it and figuring out, well, he won't be able to provide for it, therefore I have to work. If you have that mindset, yes, you will have to continue to work. And I'm not telling you quit your job immediately, but you can start slowly decreasing because you're married. It's his duty. But not like you whipping him, it's your duty to pay for everything. But at the same time, as you soften up through meditation and prayer, you can communicate in such a soft, gentle way, which we have to talk about it in the boundaries conversation. So he will hear you and step into his masculine.
My question is like, I do understand that, but I do have a really hard time to be in my feminine. I think I'm trying sometimes, but I don't think so, just because I go back right to my masculine energy right away. And I feel like the things that they're not under my control, they cannot get done right. And the other thing is that I have like a hard time of like me running a business. How can I let go of everything and not be able to take care of like my daughter, even sending her to like a college in the future? And how can I have the lifestyle that I have right now, but in my feminine energy and trusting my husband of providing and doing everything?
So you married, Simona, right?
Yes.
Very good. First of all, in order to really live in this feminine, soft lifestyle, it will not happen overnight. It will take you where you are right now, probably a year or two. But one of the things that I already hear right now, Simona, we as a women have a huge attachment to certain goals and a lifestyle. And as long as you have attachment to a lifestyle, hypothetically, having a nice home, hypothetically, that is $300,000 in the certain area that you like, or driving Mercedes or Tesla, or having the certain clothing that costs not $40, but let's say $140, as long as we have that expectation, yes, your man most likely won't be able to provide it in the first year or two. And maybe he's not born to make $500,000 for you to ever have that kind of lifestyle. Because at the core, feminine woman is not materialistic woman. I have a 10-year-old BMW, but honestly, I don't feel comfortable in this SUV BMW. 10 years ago, it was important to me back then because I started my spiritual journey, but now as I'm driving it, I just would like a white, small Volkswagen or a Honda Accord, and I will be totally fine with it. But I'm having SUV that is black color. It's so masculine. As I'm driving it, I'm like, this is not the car that I like. Because the more you are shifting, the less those material things gonna be important to you. Number two, you're talking about college, and I've seen a lot of girls going to college in their 20s. For example, they're studying technology, they're studying engineering. Maybe you will be a really amazing parent that will pay for her college. But please know, if you even paid for her college and she doesn't have the student loans that she will need to pay off, at the end she will feel that it is her duty now to go to work and continue to pay off her student loans or a debt to you by being this IT programmer or designer or engineer, instead of focusing on building a happy and healthy relationship with a man and creating a happy and fulfilling relationship and nurturing kids. That means she will go to work to be designer or engineer, leave her babies when she's gonna give them birth to daycare or best case scenario you, instead of breastfeeding them and nurturing them. And so do you see, you already have this masculine outlook and view on life where your husband is already set to a failure, your daughter is already set to live a masculine life, and this way you are stressed out thinking how to continue to keep up with Joneses, with all other masculine women, how for your man to continue to perform to bring you Tesla or BMW or other niceties, and on top of it put your daughter to a college so she can continue your footsteps. And all of this mindset at the core is the masculine core that we're learning right now in all education system, from the kindergarten, if not daycare, because women are there working instead of being home with their own kids. And all of that is not a working formula, Simona. And unless you are doing the meditation and being with a feminine woman, you're gonna continue taking that path, because all the women and all your girlfriends probably in the same mindset, surviving. And we're not meant to survive.
I developed some passion over the time, teaching different things, like about some things. Yeah. And I'm very curious. I have, very masculine education background and all of that. But I'm like, how can we find balance?
Beautiful. Asita, I have passion too, sharing the spiritual and feminine knowledge with you. But I do it once a month for a few hours, or every day, maybe 30 minutes or so when I have time. I'll record a video or I'll jump on TikTok. Not even every day, maybe once a week. So total, I would say 2 to 4 hours a week. You can have your passion. It's good to have passion because you have also purpose and meaning. As long as it doesn't feel like work, as long as you don't feel like you have to make money. Of course, while you're single, it is your duty to protect yourself because you don't have parents to protect you. But once you're married, if we're not learning to lean on our men for them to provide, lead, and protect us, they're gonna continue having the mindset of being weak and doing 50-50 with you. And that's how we violate them. They need to step into their masculine. But the only way they're gonna step into their masculine, if we're gonna drop to step into our feminine. And that's where our fears kick in. Because in our modern days, we feel like, oh, they're not gonna do it. I'm not gonna find this guy. They don't exist. And if you think they don't exist, you're not gonna find them. They're not gonna step into the masculine. They won't. And it's not about them. It's your mindset. It's your fears. And that's why you're humbly asking Creator, take it away from me. Because the first protection you will feel from Creator, not your man, not your workplace, it's from Creator. You are his daughter first. And for those of you who are single, you must even feel that you're even married to Creator himself as well. He's your husband, he's your father, he's your everything. And when you're that feel blissful and this content, that's when anything is possible. That's when your husband steps into masculine. That's when you meet a high value provider and protector. But you gotta overcome that fear, scarcity. Step number 3, we become honest with ourselves about our inauthenticity. Inauthenticity meaning being dishonest with ourselves. Desire for control and victim mentality. Acknowledging these aspects to Creator, ourselves, and our supportive feminine community allow us to thrive as women, in turn supporting the men alongside us in a feminine way. Here I'm sharing a lot of things. Number 1, if we continue living life inauthentic, pretending that we are this happy or feminine or all is well, we're not gonna get results at all. First, we have to be authentic where we're inauthentic. And we gotta acknowledge where we've been victims. And desire to control our men for them to change, and also being victims in our lives. For example, well, I cannot find good men because if I'm gonna find, look, he cheated on this woman, he cheated on that one, and then he had married another woman, or maybe he died. All of those fears is a victim mentality. Do you get it? We gotta give it to Creator. Or we have a way of controlling. Well, I can do my hobbies. I've met a woman a few days ago. She shared with regards to her husband. She's like, I want a divorce. I'm like, why do you want a divorce? She's like, because he's drinking every weekend and it drives me crazy. I said, but you're holding the martini right now. You are drinking. But I drink only 1 drink per week. But he's really getting drunk. Do you get how there's a desire to control him? You change, but I can have my 1 martini. And we have to check where we have this desire to change our man, but we don't want to really work on ourselves and change ourselves. Because as a woman, we have a tendency either to control and trying to change them, or going back to being victims. Who wants to share your personal example where you have a tendency to either control or try to change your man?
I will share. It's not involving a man, though, because I am divorced.
Got it. With
But
anything.
I am kind of finding myself in a victim mentality because I am a single mother and I am exhausted. I don't want to work. And so it's kind of like, I guess, a victim mentality because I feel like I don't have any other option. You know, I have to do this right now. So I can see where that's being inauthentic, but at the same time, it's like I don't have an option.
As long as you say that you have no option, you just created that world.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Okay. Yes.
I have no options. You are getting back into that victim mode. And our mind it's almost like playing with us. It will find the ways of tricking us and going back to that scarcity and fear. That no, I'm not gonna find him. No, I have no options. No, I'm not good enough. No, I'm not sexy enough. No, I'm not smart enough. Or it will find so many excuses and gonna wrap it in a nice package for you to believe that you're powerless. So this is really good, Sarita. This is your inauthenticity. You gotta write it down. As long as you will think quietly to yourself, I have no other options, that's what's gonna show up. You will have to work very hard raising your kids as a single mom. And this is not anybody quitting on you, but guess who is quitting on you? You get it, right?
Yes, I get it.
Really good. That is what I mean by being inauthentic. And who has not just a victim mentality, because that was a really great victim mentality example, but desire to control your man or your kids or your parents or someone who has the desire to control others. Who wants to share?
I definitely have I wrestle with it a lot in my mind, but I definitely have the desire to control. And especially with my son, I find this very, like, I come up against it a lot. He's only a baby, he's 15 months. But he's very vocal, and he can vocalize his unhappiness a lot. And it's really hard for me to accept that. I want him to be happy and in a good mood, and it is a desire to control, or even I feel guilty about this thought, but saying, oh, why, I have a baby with a difficult temperament, why is it that he won't do XYZ? Why is he so difficult for me? And that's really like a desire to control and have a certain expectation of him, and he is just a baby.
Selena, first of all, thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. You gotta watch one of my programs called How to Raise Kids 0 to 5, and also 7.5 types of kids. You gotta learn, and I'm gonna quickly share. The most difficult kids are those that you share. They're warriors. They're the loudest, they're the most demanding, and they are the future leaders of the country. These are the future CEO and managers and generals and soldiers and etc. They're the most difficult to raise. However, if you will try to make him that happy kids, like calm, which are usually the teachers, right? You will try to break his core. And so you got to learn as much as possible how to raise a warrior, and not to try to break his core. And especially because my son, when he was growing up, he was like that. And I almost felt, when he was in my belly and when I was pregnant, I felt like I had a whole army in my belly. He was kicking so bad. And actually, he's the one who got me on my knees, and I started a spiritual journey. Probably 90% I have to thank him, because I knew with this tough baby, I have to do something with myself, because I'm not going to be patient enough and loving enough. Plus, I didn't have the example. And so with kids like that, you have to meditate or pray in order to have patience. And I remember when I started, I was just meditating only 20-30 minutes in the beginning. By 1 p.m., I would still kind of try to snap when he was like, like demanding. And when I got to 40-45 minutes, that's when I had patience until like 7 and 8 p.m. But don't try to do it overnight. It has to happen gradually. But what I'm trying to say is 100% of your patience and love going to depend on how much meditation and prayer you're going to do. Without it, it's going to be very, very tough to raise a warrior. I get it. Now he's more kind of a teacher, because kids will go through stages and they can change. Now he's more kind of a guru and teacher, our son, and so mellow, so easy to be with. But until 5, wow, it was tough. So I totally get it. So good luck, but you can do it. At the end of number 3, supporting men alongside us in a feminine way. When women think supporting men, we usually think, oh, I need to go to work to help him financially. The moment you do that, you chop off his testicles, and you're letting him know, I don't trust you as a leader and a provider and protector. This is the worst help you can ever do to a man. The best support is continue praying and meditating and acknowledging where he's at. The more you acknowledge a man for little things that he does, maybe that's all he does is changes the oil and bring groceries and pays electricity. Maybe that's the only 3 things he does. The more you're gonna acknowledge this, the more he will feel, oh, she appreciates me, she values me, she acknowledges me, the more he would want to do that. This is how you're building a man to be a masculine. The more you're gonna complain and in your mind feeling that this is not good enough, the less he will do. Because man looks at not your words, but also your actions. The more you complain, he'll like, well, she complains, why should I do more? Let me do less. That's their language. We're vocal, we have to talk. But to them, your action, you're ungrateful, you don't appreciate him, he will go down in his feminine energy and will do even less. That's why we must do one of the most fundamental needs that men need, acknowledging and appreciating them. If we don't do it, forget about them being masculine. And this is tough, meaning we have to change ourselves, learn how to be in this feminine flow and feminine energy. All right, let's go to number 4. Nurture and serve others. And ladies, you're far away. Maybe you'll start serving others in 8 months or a year, maybe even 2 years, but this is the future goal. As we heal and nurture ourselves, we begin to serve others. This transformative journey creates an environment where both we and our loved ones flourish within a healthy and safe feminine circle community, uplifting and guiding one another. Because once you get to the certain point here, if you don't serve others, you're gonna start degrading to a masculine energy, because being of service is language of love. You're serving your community, you're serving your husband, you're serving your kids, you're serving your parents. That's how Creator pours into you to serve others, and then He will pour into you even more. Because in the masculine energy, we as a women tend to, what is there for me? Let me take. The more you take, the more others will take from you. And this creates competitive world. Lack of appreciation, lack of acknowledgement, and a lot of competition. In a feminine way, you are uplifting and empowering other women, other people. But because you're full, you can serve and uplift others. But as long as you feel like you don't have that energy yet, at least don't bring others down. That's how we accumulate negative bad karma. By competing with other women or other people and bringing them down. And being of service, it's sharing our love. Because the more love you give, the more happiness you give, the more it flows back to you. It's just kind of a two-way highway. So have that in the background. Who can you start serving as you're gonna start building this healing and loving yourself? You will have more and more love to give to others. And this others, ladies, you will think only your family members and your kids, but no. It's other women maybe, or other animals, or environment. It's not selfish in nature. That's how Creator speaks to you. What is there for you with regards to being of service before we move to number 5? Anybody wants to share?
For me, sometimes I felt like the service, I think from as a child, like even just came naturally, but I think there's a fine line between like self-abandonment or avoiding yourself, or ignoring things that you need to work on in yourself versus serving, so I think that's what I need to be careful about in myself.
Yeah, there's a very thin line, Celine, thank you, where you are serving others without violating yourself, where you can be a contribution, but first, it always comes with you first. You nurture yourself, now you have a room 30 or 45 minutes or an hour to be of contribution, you do that, but not more than that. You'll get to the point where it will be 2 hours, but first is you. Your self-care and your self-love. Until you nurture yourself and take care of yourself, you cannot help anyone else. Otherwise, you're violating yourself. And if you're violating yourself, others will violate you as well. Number 5, experience joy and peace. Through continuous self-love practices, we cultivate joy, inner peace, and calm. We also share these experiences by inspiring women in our lives to join our feminine circle, embarking on the journey of healing, growth, and self-love together. Now, what's important here is continue to pour love into yourself and grow. And at some point, you will feel that, okay, you're growing, you're expanding, you're loving yourself, but all other women are continuing to work and violating themselves, and that's not gonna work. If you're in the feminine energy, it's gonna be exhausting for you to be with masculine girlfriends. So whether it's gonna be up to you to create a feminine circle in your town, in your city, or invite them to our feminine circle, but if they're not learning these distinctions, you're gonna feel really isolated and alone with them. And there's a huge difference. In the feminine circle with feminine women, you can be safe and share yourself without being judged, without other women competing with you. And with masculine women, it's always gonna feel like you gotta compete, you gotta show off, you gotta be inauthentic, you gotta pretend. Otherwise, they're gonna cut you off or do something. It doesn't feel safe with them. They're violating themselves. And therefore, they're gonna violate you in a heartbeat. Do you get it? And there's no attachment that they gotta come here. It's your personal journey. You get to say how it's gonna go. But creating the safe circle of women and friends, it's very fundamentally important. Otherwise, you're gonna feel lonely, alone. Number 6, accept the Creator's will. Daily meditation and prayer help us surrender to Creator and accept His will for us. Instead of chasing material possessions, we prioritize finding inner peace while following the path laid for us. See, the key here is to surrender. And for us as women or human beings, it's so hard to surrender. We want to be in control. You're never in control, ladies. Never. The more you feel that you want to control things, write it down. The more you're out of control. The more you try to plan things, the more plans won't happen if they're not meant to happen. Just look in your life. You try to go one direction, but it's not working. The doors are closing because it's not your journey. And Creator is trying to help you to get on a different journey. And so if it's closing the doors for you, there's a reason for that, because He's always in charge. But the more you will surrender to Him, the more you will feel like, oh, this is what you want from me. And then everything starts to glide and flow instead of resisting and going through the bumps. Ladies, share with me. Come back. Otherwise, you're in your heads thinking, come back. What's there for you? Share.
I have a question.
Go
because, I have some thoughts running right now in my head. Because where is this fine line between victim mentality and surrendering to God's will? Because sometimes I have a feeling that I'm surrendering to His will. For example, I struggle in dating and finding the right man. And then I'm feeling that maybe this is what is supposed to be. And I'm, quit doing any dating and, this need for finding someone close. But then I'm thinking maybe this is, this victim mentality. So this is what I have question mark.
If there's a need to be with someone, it's definitely not just a victim mentality, it's also an attachment that I need a man. As long as there's the need, you are not feeling yourself whole and complete. That means you're not surrendering and trusting Him. Because you actually start attracting completely different type of men, and I would call them a high value man, is when you don't need them. When you let go of being with anyone at all, because you're happy on your own. When you're in the space of this happiness, and by the way, we're gonna get to that step, that's what the spiritual awakening and feminine harmony feels for us. When you are so content and so happy, you're happy with your work, if you have a job or not, part-time or not. You're happy with your friends, you're happy in your community, you're happy as a single, you're just happy. And when you're in this space of happiness, you're this flower that gravitates all of the bees. And then you choose out of those bees and dating 2 or 3, the more the better. Going slowly on the dates, because that man already coming from Creator himself. You're just not there, Anya, yet.
Yeah, probably, because I'm feeling that I'm getting closer to this acceptance, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And once you're there, it's like there's no need to be. You're happy and content on your own. As long as you're not happy and content, you feel like I need someone, you will be attracting low-value men. Feminine men, insecure men, toxic men, controlling men with bad addictions, all kinds of men. Because Creator is still knocking on you, you're not there yet. You're still trying to find a man by yourself. It's also His grace when He sends you a man. But because we're having the lack of trust and we wanted to control, we're going on the dates and trying to find them. And as long as we do that, we're getting disappointment because it doesn't come from Him. You are choosing those men. And these are the wrong choices in the first place. But that's a really great question. Number 7, having undergone, here it is, a spiritual awakening through the steps, we live fulfilled and joyful lives, actively participating in feminine circle and promoting the feminine movement globally. What does that mean? Not globally meaning you are sharing it with people in other countries. You are being example and involving your girlfriends in doing the steps, meaning whether meditating, whether praying, whether seeking Creator in your understanding, so that they are starting to shed this masculine energy. Because we're almost kind of in this boat together. Either we're all sinking in the world as women, or we're uplifting each other and starting to fly. As long as you're sinking, you're gonna be sinking with others. And if you're surrounded by women in masculine energy, consider their energy gonna pull you down. So it's your personal responsibility to uplift women and show them the steps so they can get to where you are when you're gonna be in that space. Or just fully change your environment and find the feminine women so you can flow.
I think this one speaks to me a lot, because just also being a person who really appreciates community and my friends, and realizing a lot of my friends are masculine, like I am, but I'm transitioning, whereas I think they're maybe not there on their journey. So I'm at that point, like you were mentioning, maybe in step 6, or maybe it's this one, that like isolation almost. So that's a struggle because, you know, as women, like we like to have communities or social outlets, but I also know like I have to accept them how they are. So I think that's why this is also a little bit of like a gray area, or like a thin line between accepting where they are and then maybe also promoting. But I'm not at the point of promoting. I know that because like I have to lead by example first, you know, like maybe it's by showing the role model rather than promoting, so to say.
And you know what, I probably will have to change the word promoting. It's probably, the word would be better said inspiring. But here it comes, when you're first in the spiritual journey, you have the most important relationship to yourself and Creator. If you'll try to rescue someone, you're gonna sink. And therefore, right now, it's not the right thing to do at all, because there's also comes to the boundaries. And to you, boundaries is to find this safety and space where you flow. And with the masculine women, if you're going from the space you need to be fixed, they're gonna resist, number one. And second of all, the most importantly, you going against other women while you're still new, they're gonna get you back to the masculine energy. And so being in a space where you feel like there's needed for boundaries, it's the best space. No inspiration needed for now. It's your personal journey. Once you're gonna get to the certain part, that's when you're gonna feel naturally that you wanna pour your heart and start helping women to grow in feminine energy. But right now, it's your personal self journey. So honor it, respect it, and grow with it without trying to help anyone else. so you
Is
won't
it better
sink.
to like then respect the boundary by kind of accepting the isolation?
If right now you're gonna be with them, you gotta listen to yourself. Boundaries. Do you feel good? If you feel good with them, you follow that. If you don't feel good, then you remove yourself. That's where the boundaries is. Boundaries are always communication. Do I feel good here? And if the question is yes, you stay in that relationship or the friendship or workplace. If you don't feel good, that means the boundaries are broken. You gotta remove yourself.
Okay.
And that's where self-love is. Where the boundaries is, the boundaries are needed for protection of you, for your well-being, for your self-respect, for your dignity, for your self-love, all of that. Sometimes women are trying to fix their relationship so badly. Yes, maybe you go through disgust stage, and that's why you're suffering. But if it's been going on for 3, 5, 6 years and you're not doing any kind of practices, spiritual practices, and you keep just sinking, you gotta just admit that you're not happy there. Your boundaries are not there. So it's time to remove and not even get to that 3, 4, 5, 6 years. But that's men, when something is not working for them, they're out of it in 3, 6 months. We can go on for years. And that's how we violate ourselves. Again, goes back to lack of boundaries. And boundaries for us is number one, self-love and self-respect and safety. Without safety, we will never be happy, ladies. Never. And number 8, contribute to the feminine movement. Our personal healing, again, when you're gonna get there, not anyway soon now. Our personal healing fuels the expansion of the feminine movement, fostering trust between men and women. And we embrace our roles, our true roles, men protecting, providing, and leading, while women nurture and guide our families and communities. We contribute to a better world for all beings. By continuing our growth emotionally, physically, and spiritually, we create a happier, more harmonious existence for everyone, including men, women, children, all living beings, and Mother Earth. So that is at the core our 8 steps to feminine harmony. What are you hearing from number 8?
For me, it's like when already you have your feminine community, when you can like very easily, where you have freedom to share, everybody understand you, hearing you, no judgment, and you feel safe and protected. But definitely to reach the stage, I mean, you need to work on it.
Yeah.
And really to create this community by yourself. First of all, maybe inspire your friends who they are right now in your level, let's say, not in the feminine energy right now, and you're growing together. Or maybe it's time that both of you go in different direction and you will find your community.
Please know, Olga, thank you for sharing. In order to inspire others, we first gotta accept them. But in order to accept anyone, we have to accept first ourselves. So, for example, even you can change anything in your man also. Anything. But in order to change anything that you like, his certain behaviors, you gotta accept his first behaviors as they are. And once you accept those, he's not gonna feel that you judge it and criticize. That's how you can start influencing and changing his behaviors. And this is
the example.
Do you want an example?
No, to be example for him. Because you're working on yourself, you're changing, you're not judging.
It's much deeper than that, because your example as a feminine woman, he cannot apply because he has different roles and duties. But a man feels your energy of this deep acceptance, and only once he feels that deep acceptance, he will feel your true love and true respect of him as an older. He might be even younger in age, but because he's a man, he's already older because he's born to provide, lead, and protect. And once you accept him, you have now a roadmap to talk to him in such a manner that he will hear you for the first time. And that's how you're gonna start influencing him. But this is such a deep work that takes a really good few years for you to get to the point of accepting yourself. Your duty as a mother, as a wife, as a woman, as a teacher, as a daughter, and once you're in that space, you can accept him. And once you accept him, that becomes really close relationship with our man, because he no longer feels judged, criticized, or feels the room for you to tweak him and change him and make him otherwise. He feels so much love. And now when you're communicating from that space, he wants to be influenced by you, not in a way that you're trying to change him, but no, he is in tune with you. He trusts that you have the best intention for him as a man, so he can achieve his legacy, so he can become the best version of himself, this leader, provider, and protector. He's no longer gonna swim and feel like a lazy bum next to you because you accepted him, whatever shortcomings that he had. And that is a pure love, in that pure acceptance of who he is.
When we say accept ourselves, are we accepting ourselves where we are? Or are we accepting ourselves where we should be, like the role, like the feminine duty, I guess? Because if we're not there yet, right?
When I say accept yourself, it's not where you're supposed to be, that you are fully going through that space of, for example, you know that you have to do the forgiveness of someone, but you're still resisting. And now you get that in order to become the best version of yourself, you gotta go through forgiveness. You forgive, you've done the work, you accept it, you're growing. Now you see other shortcomings in you, you're working on those. That inauthenticity, that victim mentality, that control that you have. You start working, overcoming them, integrating and accepting yourself that, I overcome that. You are becoming the best version of yourself. You are facing all of these shortcomings. And as you grow, you start to fully accept and love yourself, because if you are full of shame and guilt and fears and anxiety, you won't be able to accept yourself, because the Creator is knocking on you. You gotta work on this, you gotta work on that, you work on this and on that. See, the reason why I don't believe in manifesting things, it's just sometimes people look in the mirror and they say, I'm confident, I have a high self-esteem, I'm confident, I love myself. You can say that 1,000 times, but if you still haven't forgiven someone, you're still dealing with guilt and shame, you can say 1,000 times whatever good things that you can say. It's like putting the icing on top of the, excuse my language, caca. And then there will be still caca, even though with icing and cherries on top. And so we really gotta work on our painful things that we still haven't dealt with. And that's why in the last message I was sharing, I started the journey of self-healing in my teen years. And the reason why I went to the School of Psychoanalysis and Counseling and Psychology, in order to continue to learn and work on myself. And now I get that I invested in myself more than $300,000. I'm not saying that it should be your path. My path was very expensive, but I continue doing so. It's like full commitment to yourself gotta start. Whether it's, again, praying and just meditating for now, or working on some fears, guilt, shame that you, anxiety or depression that you have, so you can become the best version of yourself. You owe that to yourself. Sometimes I see women who will buy $200-300 dresses on themselves, but they will not take a private therapy session, and they're dealing with depression for the longest time. Don't resist that. I'm not saying come to me, I don't take private sessions, but find the person that's gonna help you, because there's a reason why you go through anxiety and depression. And without interference, you can be still going through that anxiety or depression for quite some time. You owe to yourself the healing and continue to grow in the spiritual and feminine journey. But sometimes intervention is important. Don't be greedy to yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Invest time, energy, effort, money. That's how you're gonna get to this fulfilling and loving relationship, most importantly to yourself first, and then with your man. It starts with you and your creator. And then later, it's gonna be your man and children and parents and friends. And this is all part of the boundaries, ladies. The boundaries are there. Starts with you. What is good for me? So who wants to share? What do you feel in your gut is good for you? That you know you've been resistant, but it's time to face it and do it. Who wants to share?
I would say rest is good for me.
Beautiful. Really beautiful, Sarita. Rest. Rest. Otherwise, the boundaries are not there. You know that you're missing rest. And first comes you, and then children, by the way. Who else wants to share? What's missing and you're resisting?
I just wanted to say forgiving myself.
Beautiful, Asita. So now you definitely see what's missing is forgiveness of yourself. Thank you. Thank you for acknowledging that. Powerful.
I think two things. I think surrender for me is huge. And sometimes I analyze past decisions that I take all on myself, and I should surrender to that. What happened was God's will. So I should just surrender to, not everything being on me. It's, it's actually a lot lighter if you accept that. And then another thing was that I've been considering doing therapy, and there's like online therapy. So I'd never done it before. So I think now might be the time to do that in addition to the feminine circle. And I think that might be a good thing for me.
Beautiful. Really great.